The starting area here is a little more annoying and dangerous than it might seem just from watching, since there's a lot of highly placed snipers, including a cyber game, although we're sheltered from them right here. You want to get rid of the paint elemental, obviously, and then all the chain gunners. And you're on a clock because all these Hill Knights are on their way. This went really well so far this time. Like, there's a certain amount of randomness in how that whole segment can turn out. So the first goal is to get the yellow key from this pit down here. And honestly, this part right here is kind of why I hate this map. You don't have to tediously kill these revenants with the chain gun right here, but it's super safe to, it's super easy to. I mean, you're making the map harder for yourself if you don't, and I can't afford to make this map harder for myself. Now, to hit this guy without hitting the imps below him, you got to make sure you don't go. You're on like the bottom step. If you go up a single step, you'll hit imps instead. You'll probably run out of ammo before you can kill that revenant. So make sure you don't get body blocked by anybody as you jump off this ledge. I used to think you should flip that switch that was at the top of the ledge that I jumped off without flipping. That unleashes it opens up the way to the yellow key, and it puts 2 archviles into this courtyard. And killing him at this point is just a misery. You got to sort of, take advantage of this little choke I'm going through, and it completely sucks. So I just recently have started doing it this way, where I clear this area out first, without flipping the switch, and then come back later to get the key. It's way better. You need to come back here to get the rocket ammo, but you want to make sure, you want to delay it as much as possible, so that you have enough space to work with. This goes badly, but thankfully he gets, the archvile gets angry at the end. That saves me. Still almost died. Almost die a lot of times in this run, like, trying to get through a really long map without saves is pretty brutal, because it's like, okay, you can beat a fight. Can you beat it, 6 times out of 7? Can you beat it including if the previous fight went really badly and you're in rough shape? Like, it's tough. It can wear you down. Anyway, one of the downsides of coming through that pit twice is that you want to actually kill all the imps, which kind of is a drain on ammo. And I ended up having ammo troubles, particularly with shotgun shells, all throughout this run. I want to try to get as much efficiency as I can here. You hear that archvile activate. Sometimes that guy activates at this point. I don't think he's intended to. He's a surprise for you later on if he doesn't. And it seems totally random to me whether he ever wakes up or not at this point in the map. Anyway, I really want to save rockets for the 2 archviles in the pit, since that's really what makes. That's why I didn't flick the switch earlier, because I'd have to deal with them without the rocket launcher. Ordinarily, of course, you want to take out archviles first, so you're not fighting them in an old battlefield with a bunch of corpses to resurrect. But the rocket launcher makes a big difference. Grabbing some health before I continue. And back up to the same old place as before. This is where I'm realizing it was a big mistake to switch to the shotgun. But thankfully I get it down to 1, so now it's manageable. The other nice thing is that none of the Hell Knight or Baron corpses are right around here, so you only resurrected imps. Kind of nice. A lot of clumsy mistakes around. Anyway, so with the yellow key you can get into the part of the map that contains the red key. It's kind of a nasty little fun house. There's a bunch of invisible triggers along the floor that open various closets. I mean, at least they're clearly marked. It's pretty straightforward what kind of situation you're in. I end up having a lot of trouble with ammo here this time. Ordinarily, I have more. I'm not really sure why this route really makes me so much more ammo for. Might be just because I have more rockets, but I don't know, only 12. It doesn't really account. So I kind of have trouble making my way through this part. Ordinarily, I like to do this back corridor a little later, but I'm just completely out of shells, so I want those. Kind of tedious. Now this sucks. One of the rockets gets directed over at the demon, and the other one gets interrupted by the demon. It just kind of sucks. You can really kill that guy quick if the RNG doesn't hate you. So I'm just trying to continue as ammo efficient as possible, using low tier weapons on encounters where it's reasonable to do so. I really don't like this part very much. Clumsy. So I guess since this isn't terribly interesting, I mean, I guess it's kind of interesting that I'm almost completely out of non-rocket ammo at this point. So I decided to just make a run for it. I mean, you can just run through this place quickly and start a big old melee. Infighting can save you a little bit in that case, but I don't know. I mean, you got enough problems in this map. I guess I should talk about the upcoming fight once we're done clearing the closets. So that switch there, it opens the exit from this area. It gives access to that BFG, and it also opens a monster closet right in front of you containing 4 Archviles, 3 Barons, and a Cyber Demon. You might be thinking, well, that's fucking unfair. And you're right, it's fucking unfair. The Cyber Demon is standing on a teleporter that will teleport him kind of to the entrance the instant he moves. So you're just facing down these other guys, and he's blocking you off. And honestly, I don't think there isn't. I have no idea how Rubik's intended that to be doable at all. But you can sort of gimmick it. If just at the instant you open the door, you fire your super shotgun and wound the Cyber Demon, the odds are pretty good, and you have to do it like at the exact right tick, but the odds are pretty good that he will flinch and then return fire before moving. So then you can sort of strafe left a little bit and get him to make everybody in his monster closet mad at him. And then probably he teleports. So you've got Archviles and Barons sort of struggling at the wall, trying to get at him, and he comes toward you, right? And so basically he'll go around the corner one way, you'll go around the other, and try to burst through the 2 Archviles and 2 Barons guarding the exit with the BFG and escape. That's kind of the plan. But in this case, it doesn't end up quite going that way because, and this has never happened to me before, he actually shoots before, like instantly he shoots. He doesn't flinch and then shoot. He actually, the very first frame he saw me, he shot, which was weird. I mean, that's better than him not shooting at all. But it results in me taking a free rocket. And this is also really unusual. The Barons are stun locking him to death so hard that he actually never takes a single step. And he'll die here, which again is super unusual. Just goes to show that anything can happen in Doom. So because those Barons that were resurrected are obviously mad at me, and this, I guess, Archvile got mad at them. So anyway, I killed them. That's great. It's nice that the other Archviles died, I assume, to the Cyber Demon? I don't even know. It's weird. This is stupid on my part, that I'm killing them with the super shotgun instead of the rocket launcher. I'm on this low ammo state of mind. But shells are actually kind of more valuable to me than rockets at this point, plus it's a lot safer. Like, I wouldn't have that bullshit. Just being stupid is the main point. Like, it's really hard just to get this far in this map. It's just really fucking hard. It's like one try out of, not 20. I was gonna say 20, but more like 30. If you're bad like me. So, you can just, ordinarily I just blast through those guys with the BFG, but since that all went really weird, this is the only time I end up using the BFG in this run, is to quick kill those paint armors, which is very worth it. There's so with the red key, you can open the way to the exit. Although the final fight is almost impossible to beat as you're currently equipped. Mainly that you don't have any cells. Although there is a way to a gimmicky way to completely skip it. Just completely say nope, not doing it. Just going to the exit. Cool, see ya. Which I do. Whatever. I'm not proud. I beat the level. Or you can, and also the red key lets you activate a switch at that altar where the very start is, which opens that big gate that big gate in the distance you can see there, which unleashes an incredible amount of cacodemons into the map. Like, the sky is completely redded out with cacodemons, and it also nets you some cells and rockets, and you can use that to eventually thin them out, and then you can go past the gate. There's like this nasty encounter where you have to BFG bump 2 cyber demons at the same time, and that's what really pretty amazing that guy was able to scratch me as I ran by. It's the BFG bumping the 2 cyber demons that I just, it's too unreliable. Like, I get this far and I'm like, okay, I can do the brave way, or I can do the easy way, and what the hell? I just ran for the exit, which is what I'm doing. Well, I haven't really made the decision yet at this point, because either way, you want to clear this area out, because this canyon is actually a great position for like when the Caco swarm comes, and I'm describing something that never happens in this run, but when the Caco swarm comes, you know, you can rocket them for a while from the starting area. Eventually it just becomes overwhelming. Then you can retreat to this canyon and rocket them for a while. And then, you know, you can sort of keep looping around. Hopefully it's thinned out a little by that point. So you want this area to have been cleared out first, so you can make your fighting retreat. And this is where I'm really wrestling with the angels. What am I going to do here? Go back and trigger the Cacos, or just run for the exit? And I decided to just run for the exit. Whatever. What I'm doing is there's this weird trigger here to get to a secret area. I kind of fuck it up there. Whoops. Go back. Like, entering and exiting this little room opens a door, which then closes again like 5 seconds later. It's this door. It gets you here to this invulnerability sphere, which you can use to clear this Revenant clown car encounter. Like, technically the invulnerability was a secret, but it was pretty well hidden too, frankly. But like, I honestly don't think this encounter is really possible without it. Like, every you know, speedrun or other run at this level I've seen utilizes the invulnerability for this encounter. Like, I've never seen it used in any other way. I've never seen this thing beaten in any other way. Whatever, kind of stupid. Anyway, like, here's the final fight. It's really hard, but when you hit the switch that triggers it, it descends into the ground and briefly becomes stairs. I don't know if that was, you know, a mistake or just an act of mercy, but either way, you know, later faggots.